You mentioned ratings. While you were gone, Brian Stelter got fired. The media guy on CNN.
Yes, are you kidding?
Jeff Toobin got fired when they brought him back. Now, Toobin,
they brought him back?
They brought him back after he...
They brought him,
after he took out his Toobin.
All right, nobody's perfect.
New Yorker, by the way, fired Toobin on the spot. And CNN suspended him and brought him back. But he came back before you left.
Wait. Put Toobin aside. Stelter is out.
Stelter's out, gone.
Wow.
And
they did it.
Yeah, they did it. There's a new CEO who says he wants CNN to get back to being fair and balanced, as if they ever were.
Right. A little late for that.
And he's apparently cleaning house. He had a little meeting. The new CNN, I think his name is
I'm shocked. I mean,
had a meeting and said nobody is secure. We want to get back to not being perceived as a left-wing network. I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah.
And then within days of that meeting, Brian Stelter was gone. And they gave him a week or so to say goodbye, which was a mistake because he teed off on the new owners. They are their Discovery and the CEO and teed off on that guy. And then Jeff Toobin also got released.
Wait, Stelter, first off, what's interesting to me about that is like he sort of became the worst of the worst. He's supposed to critique the media. Right. And you're probably, are you friends with Howard Kurtz at all? Or you must have done a show
I did a show when I ran for governor.
Because he had the original reliable sources before Stelter. And I remember watching that when I was a kid. I was always interested in media and politics and that stuff. And it was a good show on Sunday mornings. Right. And then Stelter just became the worst of the worst, like giving everyone what you think they want all the time. Man, the internet must have loved this. The memes must have been incredible.
Remember when the Hunter Biden laptop story broke?
Of course.
Stelter was one of those out front talking Russian disinformation, all the hallmarks of Russian disinformation, and went off on how fraudulent the story was. And of course, it wasn't fraudulent. And he denied that he did that when the tape was all over the place. No, he is the embodiment of why a lot of us dislike CNN. But as far as I'm concerned, Don Lemon is every bit as bad, if not worse, because he purports to be a news guy. At least Stelter never pretended to be a news guy. He was a commentator, a critic. And why Don Lemon still has a job is beyond me. Remember during Jussie Smollett? Turns out Don Lemon called him off the record and told him that the Chicago police did not believe his story. And gave him a heads up. A news guy is not supposed to do that. And later on, that came out, and nothing happened to Don Lemon. So.
Well, none of that surprises me. And my guess is that Lemon's head is on the chopping block too, and probably a few others.
We'll see. But since the new CEO's been in office, been running the place, by the way, about 6 weeks now, their numbers have gotten worse.
Really? Yeah. Because it's so irreparably damaged. The nuclear meltdown, it's begun already, the core meltdown. There's nothing they can do. The New York Times, there's nothing they can do. You step away from it for a little bit, it's so obvious. These things are in their death throes. And what's interesting about a guy like Stelter is like Stelter has all the opportunity in the world right now, right?
So you're more surprised at Stelter being fired than the Mar-a-Lago raid.
Well, the Mar-a-Lago raid just feels like, the next Trump adventure. Right. It's like the adventures of Donald Trump. It's like Harry Potter and the blah, blah, blah. It's just Donald Trump and the raid on Mar-a-Lago. Okay, here we go. Stelter, though, what's interesting is I'm guaranteeing you, this guy is not getting another decent job. Like, he's done.
Please.
And he has nobody that's going to support him. Like, here we are in the local studio because a certain amount of people support me, a certain amount of people support you. There's such an incredible fertile ground right now for people that are interesting to get out there and get support.
He'll get another job.
No, he'll get some crappy throwaway job, but I'm saying no real people will support him. He'll go
back to Washington Post, or he'll go back to MSNBC, which brings up another thing that happened. I made a joke, and I said something about what's the over-under on whether MSNBC hires Stelter first or Liz Cheney?
Oh my God.
Liz Cheney lost her primary.
Oh, she did? Good. Well, that's good, great.
Let me ask you.
Was it a bloodbath?
By how many points do you think she lost it?
So I like Harriet Hageman, and I had her on the show, and I was very impressed with her. How many points? I mean, oh my God, was it more than 10?
37. Wow. She lost by 37 points.
That is
the biggest loss of any incumbent running for re-election in a primary this century.
That is,
and the largest one I've ever heard of. 37 points.
But I thought she was the moral face of the Republicans.
And Cheney gave a concession speech in which she said she's going to spend the rest of her energy making sure that Donald Trump never approaches the White House again. I guess except as a tourist, maybe.
Wait. So I'm guessing
she said that.
So I'm guessing now MSNBC and CNN, everyone's saying that she's going to run for president probably. Like that's got to be the next move. She was sort of too good for that simple job.
She certainly implied it. And then she was interviewed and she said something to the effect of, they don't want to see me on the debate stage with Donald Trump. Well, as far as I know, in order for you to get on the debate stage, you have to agree to support the eventual nominee. And the whole point about her running is to make sure that Donald Trump does not become the nominee. So I'm not quite sure how she's going to navigate that. But there is speculation she may run for president, yes.
Good God.